with two raging intellectuals.
Live on YouTube and Twitch.
Exposing the predator class with Brock and Agent X. Streaming live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to Command HQ. It's December 30th, and time is moving really fast. The end of the year is fast approaching. I didn't even realize we were losing this much time this quickly, but we're here. Agent X, there's been a big arrest in Romania with Andrew TopG Tate being, quote, detained.
We don't know, man. Arrest means something different in the rest of the world than it does here. So they probably just brought him in for questioning. But it would be interesting to see if he gets released.
There was a lot of hubbub about this being about some Twitter spat with Greta Thunberg. And he had made some... Thunberg, however you pronounce your last name. Thunberg?
Thunberg.
Did you say Turdberg?
Turdberg, yeah. No, Thunberg.
Greta T. So, I think they're trying to turn this into, or at least get some publicity for Greta T here with the climate agenda. And, he was just trying to shit tweet to get attention and to get more followers by, being anti-climate, Anyways.
Well, they said that they swatted his house back in March and accused him of something similar, child trafficking or something like that. But now it looks like they got your boy, man.
The TopG is being shown the inside of a Romanian jail. So I did have our Romanian MAGA queen correspond directly from Romania about the Andrew Tate situation, which I have here, which we can play. And then we also have the Quarterings quick breaking news stream about Andrew Tate. And then we just have a couple other stories, but we also have SBF being pivoted to Lewis Kaplan, who apparently was involved in the Epstein case as well.
And the Dozinger case.
In the Dozinger case, and he was involved, I think, in the Kevin Spacey case as well, with the sexual assault accuser. He's been known.
They sure have a thumb on that random assignment wheel, don't they?
It doesn't appear to be that random, does it?
It never is, man. That thing is it's complete and utter bullshit.
How can these courts get away with stating publicly that these are random assignments when it's so obvious that they're not?
Because no one ever challenges them on it. That's the problem. Is that they can say whatever they want. They can. It's all for appearance's sake. They lie. They cheat. They steal. Every one of these judges do. Not a single one of them is ever held accountable. It's one of these federal judges. Well, like in New York State, you'll have one of the Supreme Court justices commit some egregious act of misconduct, and instead of punishing him, they go and pick on some town court judge with no law degree who's essentially a magistrate, and they go beat the fuck out of him instead of punishing the real wrongdoers. And it's the same thing in federal court. There's there's no there's no accountability for these people, and you know the fact that SBF walked out of there and he's now taking meetings with the Big Short producers. He took a meeting with that crypto influencer, the Chinese woman or Asian woman. Um, he's living it up, man, and he should be getting his ass pounded over in the Metropolitan Correctional Facility.
Well, I'm glad that you brought the Big Short topic up. I just pulled up the article from cointelegraph.com, and
Notice that the mainstream media is not reporting on this. Um, do you still have that Fox News clip? We should play that. Um,
yeah.
that I sent you this morning. But it's interesting that it's not the mainstream media now. This Lauren Campos rocks for brains. She's essentially, parroting what we've been saying for almost a year now with the central bank digital currency, and parroting exactly what we said when SBF was arrested. She must be watching the stream.
I think a lot of people are watching the stream and taking some of your analysis, Agent X, because I'm hearing literally the same phrases being used with respect to the same topic. So with Rachel Campo Duffy, this is something that we had talked about on the stream, I think weeks ago, that,
when he was first arrested.
Yeah, but even before that, we were kind of, I think we were both discussing the fact that they were looking to do something, usher in some crisis, or use some crisis to usher in a Fed coin, and to use the Fed coin and AI in concert with one another as sort of a reserve currency. And she prefaced her statements in this Fox News clip by saying that she was going to put a tinfoil hat on and that she would be accused of being a conspiracy theorist for saying these things. And to be honest with you, I think these are like the least conspiratorial theories that you and I have. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're trying to do everything possible to regulate crypto so that they can then usher in this new central bank digital dollar scheme and then put us all on this sort of like virtual grid.
No, exactly. Yeah. And well, I mean, just taking a step back and looking at SBF in particular, they have let this guy off fucking light. They have let him off light. Anybody else who would have went and stolen billions of fucking dollars, they would have been put under the fucking jail. This dude is living in his parents' house, taking fucking meetings with Hollywood producers. I was at not an event, but I went out to with some people I know, and they own a very conservative talk radio station in the South, and I was telling them they actually brought up SBF and how he's getting away with it, how the judge that they basically let him walk out of there, it's unheard of. And I'm like, well, and they were talking about those photographs of him in JFK, right? And I was like, well, did you look closely at those photographs? This guy's been convicted, or this guy's been accused of wire fraud, not convicted, I'm sorry, been accused of multiple counts of wire fraud amounting to billions of dollars of fraud. There's two cooperating witnesses, the CEO of Alameda and the CTO of FTX, both of whom have basically spilled the beans that SBF knew what was going on, that he was taking these funny loans, that he was basically misappropriating customer funds. All right. And they're talking about how he's living it up. And I'm like, living it up in first class, the first class lounge, and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, did you not look closely at the picture? This guy has his laptop and his cell phone. Why? That's how you know that the government is not taking this seriously, right? That's how you know that there's something afoot here. Is the fact that they allowed this man to keep his fucking laptop and his cell phone, the devices that he committed the wire fraud on, most likely, and didn't seize them. Meanwhile, you put up a Match.com profile, and your house gets raided, and every electronic device, ranging from your toaster oven to your thermostat to your MacBook to your headphones to your iPhone, gets seized and held in a compound for well over a year. I mean, this is the most ridiculous story, and no one is pointing it out. That the fact that this man still had his laptop and his cell phone that he committed the wire fraud on, and the government just didn't. That's how you know that the government doesn't give a shit, and this is all fake. I mean, and Campos Duffy is she's obviously listening to the stream because she's pointing out what we have been talking about, that this is theater. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's some other work at play, and not to bring myself into this argument, but in my case, even a state Supreme Court ruled what they did to me unconstitutional under the First Amendment. And having a social media profile on the internet when someone else views it is not a crime under any standard. So, and when it came out, it turned out that they came after me because they accused me of criticizing the powers that be, right?
Well, you're missing the point here, right? So you were public enemy number one, right? Because you criticized the system and had some whack job SJW blue check mark weirdos who you've never met complain on you. And what do they do because you criticize the system and the corruption going on in the system? Oh well, they, after they closed the case, they went and they ginned it back up, and they raided your house. They took every electronic device from your house, ranging from your toaster oven to your fucking MacBook. But here and there, we're talking about at most a misdemeanor charge, and they cross state lines to do it. Absolutely unheard of. But here, Sam Bankman-Fried steals billions, not millions, billions of dollars, misappropriated, was funneling funny loan or fraudulent loans to himself, was buying up properties, him and his parents, and here he is. His devices aren't seized. I mean, it just goes to show you that the government's not taking it seriously. They don't care. This is all theater. This is all show, and Sam Bankman-Fried is going to walk free.
Let's play this clip, but
It's all about.
I think the point is made, and I understand it. And if you look at Roger Stone, okay, so Roger Stone's house was raided by an FBI tactical SWAT team used for violent felons, drug dealers. Roger Stone was accused, I believe, of, I can't even remember at this point, but it was not a crime. I think they accused him of like interstate threats or something because he had sent some text messages that were fairly, aggressive or whatever. I can't even remember what they accused him of. But
Well, remember Trump's attorney, John Eastman, how he was out to dinner,
right.
and the FBI ran him down and handcuffed him and took his cell phone. I mean, but Sam Bankman-Fried gets
Lindell.
to
Mike Lindell
yeah,
in Mankato over here in Minnesota. He was at Arby's and he was blocked in in the drive-through. An FBI tactical team came in and then took all of his devices from him, literally in the drive-through of Arby's. I mean,
yeah, but Sam Bankman-Fried gets to walk. He steals billions of dollars. He gets to walk out on a signature bond, and the government never seizes the cell phone or the laptop that he committed the crimes on. It's absolutely absurd. That's how you know it's fake, it's gay, and it's fucking theater.
well, yeah, it is fake. But
And the difference is he spent all that money he misappropriated was funneled to his mother to Democratic causes, and he basically bought everybody off. He ingratiated himself with the stolen funds. They ought to go and look. There ought to be a forensic audit of who got these stolen funds, what politicians got these stolen funds from Bankman-Fried and FTX, and it should be published, and we should know, and those people should be disqualified from ever running for office again.
let's play this clip from Duffy, Campbell's Duffy.
Regarding the puff piece, if you steal billions of dollars from average Americans, you are not a celebrity, you are a criminal. And yet this guy is being treated like a celebrity. And I believe something is going on here. He knows that he's not in trouble. The way he's acting, he knows he's not in trouble. He knows that he's being protected by some very powerful people. And so the question then becomes, why? What's going on here? I have a theory. I've had a lot of what do they call it when you tinfoil hat theories that have all come true after COVID. It could be that this guy is meant to create so much doubt in crypto that it would make it easier for our governments to usher in the digital dollar, which, as you know, is a powerful tool to control people. I believe that is the precursor for a Chinese-style social credit score system, which I believe we've already seen elements of that before.
Richard, I don't...
Okay, so there you go.
Dude, they shut her up quick, didn't they? They quickly moved to another topic.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of moving to a different topic, okay, so we have Lewis Kaplan being assigned. Lewis Kaplan let Donziger walk. Donziger was a...
No, he didn't let Donziger walk. He ginned up all those fucking... He ginned up all those findings against Donziger.
That's true. He did pretty much create the situation where he was reinforced. His disbarment was reinforced by Kaplan for sure. But he was only
his disbarment was totally based on Kaplan's order.
Let's see. Exxon came after him in federal court, and they, I think, sued him for abuse of process and fraud or some other claims, and they wanted his judgments vacated, which he was trying to enforce internationally. And there was some crazy treaty or whatever that he was using to do this. Anyways, he got disbarred. And Agent X, you're saying that collateral estoppel based on the order from Lewis Kaplan was used to disbar Donziger. So Donziger is like a celebrity attorney at this point. He's got support from Pink Floyd. He's got support from Bono. He's got support from like Alec Baldwin, a bunch of these climate celebrities.
He was on Crystal and Cigar or whatever his name is. But yeah, I mean, Lewis Kaplan is one of the dirtiest pieces of shit judges on the Southern District. He's a real piece of shit.
So, I mean, to be fair to Donziger, what you believe about the environment is one thing, but he went into Ecuador and he wrote these judicial orders, and then he bribed these judges to issue the orders that he wrote.
Hold on. Well, you're missing the point here. You're missing the point in that, regardless of what Donziger did or didn't do, Lewis Kaplan is a fucking he's a fucking stooge for the establishment. He's a corporate stooge. He's a political establishment stooge, and he will do whatever the political establishment wants him to do with Sam Bankman-Fried. And if that means him walking free, he's going to do it. The corporate and political class wanted Dozinger fucking, nailed on a cross, and that's exactly what he fucking did. He wrote an order that was so incendiary that they used it to go after Dozinger, because that's that's what these big oil companies wanted, and that's what the political establishment wanted, and boom, they did. They went after him, and he will do the same thing if they want. If the political establishment wants Sam Bankman-Fried to get off lightly, he will. And we already see that the U.S. Attorney's Office is not pushing this case very hard, regardless of how they try to portray it. Yeah, it's not a good situation. Hopefully this exposes the corruption of our judicial system when Sam Bankman-Fried walks. As they were pointing out on Fox News, the mainstream media is already trying to backpedal on this guy and basically
like the New York
humanize
Times.
him. Yep, humanize him and do all that shit.
Claiming that gang violence in the Bahamas is far worse than Sam Bankman-Fried stealing billions of dollars. And here's the other thing too: the number that he is accused of stealing has changed dramatically multiple times here. It's changed from like 8 billion to 1.8 billion to 30 billion. You never really know, and I think what they're trying to do is minimize the amount of money, or at least obscure the amount of money, so no one really knows how much money he took. But he's going to have a hard time doing this because there's so many.
If you go back a month ago, right? All the videos said that they had $30 billion in the account funds, and now it's somehow been whittled down to 1.8 billion, although the top 30 creditors had 3.8 billion according to the sealed bankruptcy filings. So who the fuck knows? I mean, they're playing, the mainstream media is playing funny business with the numbers, and they keep fucking ratcheting those numbers down to make it look less egregious for them. It's fucking horse shit.
Have you seen some of these news articles too, where they're saying that customers of FTX want their names sealed in the bankruptcy? And again, I think this is just more fake coverage from the mainstream media, because it's probably like just the really wealthy customers, and everyone else doesn't want their names sealed.
Well, no. Remember, we think that Disney was a creditor, or Disney is a creditor. We think that a lot of these large
they do, but I'm saying, like, when you think of the FTX customers, you would think of, like Joe down the street, 25-year-old.
No, they don't. This was corporate entities flexing their muscle to go in there and push the judge to do something extraordinary, something that is rarely done, and seal the names of the creditors. Why? Because they didn't want financial chaos when the news broke that a bunch of companies are now billions of dollars in the hole because they lost money in FTX. But it's just the same garbage we see out of the Southern District, where they won't release the names of Epstein's associates or Ghislaine Maxwell's associates. I mean, it's the same fucking cover up. It's the cover up. The Southern District of New York is the cover up crew.
It's so misleading, though, for some of these crypto online news sites to say that customers want their names sealed, because it's just like so unbelievably false. You can't even begin to describe how insane it is for these these reporters, if they even can call themselves that at this point, to even say this. I don't even know how they can. Like, how unbelievable. All right. Okay. you want to get into the Andrew Tate situation again? So we talked about, okay, we should probably play that quartering video. And then I also have a little piece from our Romanian MAGA queen here talking about Andrew Tate and, you know, her knowledge of what others feel about Andrew Tate in Romania, considering he's been there now for 5 years. And then we have, you know, these sort of like Me Too, Jezebel, whatever news sites just shitting on Andrew Tate right now. So where do you want to get started with the Andrew Tate situation?
Let's play a little bit of the quartering, but not very much, and then we'll go have your MAGA queen girl.
Definitely have some breaking news and a reminder that, you know, people are innocent until proven guilty. Although I don't know how that fares in Romania. Maybe you can buy your way out. I don't know. But Andrew Tate and his brother have both just been arrested on an interesting investigation that comes a day after. Like literally, I just uploaded the video about his spat with Greta Thunberg. Now he gets arrested. Interesting timing. Some people, the theories are already flowing around. Obviously, we need to get a lot more information, but you see here, Andrew and his brother are in custody. They got warrants about an hour ago. You see this Andrew Tate's luxury.
Before we listen to the rest of this, isn't it odd that there's a news crew when they raid his house?
It's
conveniently there.
They tip them off. They tip up the police.
Villa reportedly raided by armed police in Romania. December 29th report initially from Romanian outlet Liberté, I think, claimed that Andrew Tate's home had been raided by Romanian PD in relation to 2 missing girls. This was later confirmed by paparazzi filming the scene. The raid is said to have been carried out by the whatever agency. At the time of the writing, there's been no official statement. Back in April of 2022, Andrew Tate faced...
Okay. So that's the breaking news. And let's see if I can zoom out here. I'm going to play a little piece from the Romanian MAGA queen here. Now, it might be a little bit difficult to kind of understand where we are here because I asked a couple questions, and unfortunately, it's the questions were like, you know, what do you know about Andrew Tate? Like, would you buy some of his quote TopG products? And then like generally, like, you know, because he's trying to influence masculinity, specifically young men. You know, she wanted to talk a little bit about that too, because apparently there's a lot of kind of teenage or young sort of 20-year-old type guys in Romania who tune into Andrew Tate, you know, because he's a badass kickboxer or whatever. But, you know, he's getting older. What is he, like 32? I mean, some of the things he has been accused of doing have been fairly outrageous. And some of the videos I've seen, he just seems like he's like over the top. Just over the top. Like, I can respect a little bit of it, but anyways, let's get into our Romanian MAGA queen's report on Andrew Tate.
I haven't been.
Started from the very beginning. Or refresh it.
I haven't been following Andrew Tate's career, but from what I've seen, I don't like him and I cannot agree with most of his statements. And I think that's the general view on him. I was surprised hearing this news because he might be delusional and talk a lot of shit, but I don't think he's stupid. So being caught with something like that, I didn't see him being caught with something like that. But there were, of course, like 2 boys, little boys, actually believing what he is saying and calling him a TopG.
There's a little break in here. But it's kind of funny about the TopG stuff. And then a couple questions here about corruption in the Romanian system and whether or not she actually believed this was sort of like a setup.
But I also can see him do that because he talks a lot of shit about women. And he is very cocky. And he might have thought he would get away with this, especially in Romania. But also, Romanian authorities and police, I don't feel like they usually mess with rich, popular people unless actually really happened, or maybe they were actually put onto this. I didn't say I think they are totally fake. I can totally see him do this. I just feel like he's not stupid, but also he is too cocky that might make him stupid. Yeah, I feel like they are, especially when it comes, like I said, to like wealthy people. Yes, the Pipera neighborhood is a very nice and popular area for these wealthy, famous people. No, not at all. I don't think I ever seen a Romanian girl say, yes, I like Andrew Tate in any way. Nope, I'm good. I think they are, especially at the very top, and a lot of wealthy, popular people in Romania could get away with things or get a lesser sentence. It has to be an outside pressure for some things to be done, but I feel like that's the case in many other countries and states and everywhere. I'm not a fan, but it's fine. It's a funny nickname, and it's even funnier because he's called that by little boys.
So she's making fun of the TopG moniker, but interesting. So people in Romania, women at least, don't appear to be a big fan of Andrew Tate, and most of his followers are paying, I think, like $50 a month for his little training camp or boot camp he runs through his own website. So, and
in the guest chat, I just sent you a link to a Twitter thing where somebody was saying that big tech was putting a bunch of pressure on the Romanian government to arrest him. Really? And basically predicted that he was going to be arrested in the end of 2020 or early 2023.
So
this was on October 11th.
A Romanian MAGA queen brought up something which I didn't even ask about, which was that she felt as if this only would have happened if there was some sort of external pressure on the Romanian authorities to go and raid Andrew Tate's house, and that she believed that there was some corruption in the Romanian system, but overall she had significant confidence in it. But okay, so getting to this tweet here from Gary, the number guy, GG33. My sources in law enforcement have told me Andrew Tate will be arrested. Wow, he's right on. End of 2022, early 2023, like literally right on. Wow, very credible. No matter if he's guilty or not, the Romanian government is under intense pressure from USA/big tech to shut him down. Wow, interesting. And I guess there was an allegation in a couple of the articles I read that the U.S. Embassy was involved.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, like when these other countries, smaller countries, do something like this, it's from, or at the behest or direction of the U.S. Embassy, because the U.S. Embassy in smaller countries, and Romania is not that small, but in some countries, depending on their size, political influence, yada, 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 I mean, U.S. Embassy pretty much controls that country. until China takes over the world.
Yep.
Anyway, this is interesting, though, that big tech would want to get rid of Andrew Tate. And they already have.
Man.
I mean, he's been banned everywhere.
Yeah. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. We don't live in a free society. We never have. And now with technology, we just see more and more how people are silenced, how they're suppressed, how they're abused by the government, and the people in power, the predator class. And we're now seeing Andrew Tate in the crosshairs.
Well, it's funny, too, how all of these, quote, incendiary personalities, anyone who criticizes the orthodoxy, whether that's Alex Jones or Andrew Tate or us, I mean, isn't it miraculous how these people who otherwise, have literally completely clean backgrounds, squeaky clean, never involved in any controversy. And again, I'm not saying that Alex Jones is like that. I mean, maybe there are a few things here and there, but generally speaking, like a lot of these conservatives, it's like they're either controlled opposition, or if they even take one step out of line, they're immediately hit with like an enormous barrage of all of this bullshit, whether it's trumped up charges or investigations like Trump has experienced now, or anything. I mean, it's just amazing. The world that we're living in currently. I mean, Andrew Tate moved to Romania to get away from a lot of this, and here he is now essentially being caught up 5 years later in it. So
Yep.
Any other thoughts on Andrew Tate before we close our stream down and wish everybody a happy new year?
No. I just sent you an article about the digital dollar. We can talk about it on the next stream.
Where'd you send it? Oh,
I sent it in the encrypted chat. But we can talk about it later.
In our regular chat or chat here? Okay.
No, I sent it on the other.
Yeah, we can talk about it if you want. You want to talk about it right now?
No. We'll save it because there's some interesting stuff in there about how it's going to operate. So,
how is it going to operate?
You got to read the article, bro. We can walk through.
Now I'm really curious.
Basically, it's going to be a service provided for by the government that allows instant transactions, peer-to-peer transactions like Cash App, and your end of the day account balance is going to be reported to the Fed.
Wow!
For your depository account.
Fascinating. How are merchants going to get involved? Are they just going to have like a merchant wallet, and then it's just going to act the same way that it would for you or me? So there's no added sort of burden.
I don't know, man. We got to read the article.
Now I really want to. I want to bring it up on the stream now.
We'll do it tomorrow. It's almost 2 a.m., bro.
Okay, we got a big show for tomorrow to talk about the Fed coin and how it's actually going to be operational, how it's going to be implemented, how it's going to be used, how merchants are going to use it, how regular buyers and sellers are going to use it. And, if anything, I am tremendously scared about the rollout of this Fed coin, and I'm being totally serious. And we haven't even got to sort of the attacks on the energy grid, particularly the Russian, missile attacks today, which are continuing attacks on the energy grid in Ukraine. But to tie these two together, the Fed coin is really about the use of grids, and what they're trying to do too is they're trying to limit everything, so we're pushed into this situation where we have to use their form of payment. and they're ultimately going to, you know, make the argument about carbon and climate change and everything else. But it, you know, these are not like micro payments. These are going to be massively sort of uprooting in our lives, in that, you know, because banks provide a valuable service to people. Like they, you know, they settle transactions. So, you know, like there's no, you have no recourse against the federal government if you send a transaction and you want that transaction back. It's not like you can go to the federal government and say, you know, this person stole $1,000 from me. The federal government's going to say, fuck you. And even if you sue them, there's going to be some immunity or some sort of law that provides blanket coverage for the government and leaves you in a situation where you're completely fucked.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about that article tomorrow during our stream, or Saturday, or Sunday. But yeah, do you plan on streaming this weekend, Agent X?
Yeah, I'll be around.
All right. Well, we'll see you later, and if we don't, have a great New Year. I'm gonna play the ending slide right now. Please do subscribe to our channel and like the video.
Kind of light with powers and properties unlike anything that existed before. Laser light.